Good morning. I'm sick, and oh my god, this coffee sucks. I ground it too coarsely. Kitty? Phoebe, her name's Phoebe, by the way, everybody. What are you doing? So, it's about 7:30, and we're gonna read some comments, because I feel like it. RQL said, okay, can I just say that he looks kind of like Steve Jobs in a way?
Not Royal Skyline says, half of the facts in your last Apple video were complete bullshit. You say Samsung made the displays for the iPhone 8 and taking all their hard work, but in reality Apple actually designed an engineering bees and displays and just used Samsung the same way they used Foxconn. Apple Display actually bends underneath itself just so they don't have to have a bezels to keep things like the digitizers on the tip, which requires bezels like Samsung phones have on the top and bottom. This isn't the first time Apple has used Samsung to manufacture something that was more advanced than their own technology. For the 6S, Samsung manufactured about 40% of the chips for it. These chips are much faster in Geekbench than Samsung's Exynos.
Donald Phillips wants to know where he can buy a BeamtUp shirt. Email beamtupyt@gmail.com with your name and size preference, and I'll see what I can do for you. Caesar Orozco says, drama queen, LOL. Well, maybe, kind of, I guess. Cindy L says, keep making videos, I promise you will be famous. Aw, thank you. Martin Hansen says, shut up, you homo. Who's he talking to? Guy Guru says, ew, you fucking green bubble having ass. I don't know if he was joking or being serious, but either way, it's funny. This one's my favorite. Brendan Knowles says, do the world a favor and go hang yourself. You are a waste of space and the world will be a better place without your worthless existence. God! Bro, I'm gonna stick around. Matthias Barbosa says, you are a mix of Joni Ive and Alaska Thunder. I don't know who Alaska Thunder is, but she's probably gorgeous. I wanted to add a few things about Android because I've spent the last couple of videos bitching about Apple. Let me tell you why I like Android. So you take iOS. iOS is like this big grid with a bunch of different colored holes in it. And then iOS also supplies pegs that are designed specifically to fit in each one of those holes. Do not try to put a different shaped peg into a different hole because it's not going to work. You can just forget about it. Whereas Android has the same grid, but its pegs are made of clay. So if it won't quite fit, then you can find a way to make it fit. Does it fit perfectly all the time? Not quite. It is getting better, but not quite. But I would rather have the ability to make a peg fit a hole, sounds vaguely sexual, than to simply have to give up when I want to do something that my operating system doesn't let me do. Because Android, there's a workaround for almost everything. There's like several ways to do almost everything. Picture iOS like a white cube. If you want to do something that's not included inside that white cube, then you'll have to get attachments and like bolt it to the outside and attach this tube over to this side and it'll at the core it'll still be iOS, but there's a whole bunch of external stuff attached to it that still ends up most of the time accomplishing the goal that you had set out for it to do, but it's like all this external stuff that iOS doesn't allow or doesn't include inside that Apple Cube. Android, on the other hand, is like a gaming PC where you can pop off the side panel, reach in there and be like, okay, we're gonna connect this to this and this to that and this to that and do it wherever we want. And then there you go. You can go inside the figurative cube and rearrange it as you see fit. That is why I like it. Does that mean that there's a higher possibility for error? Yes. Because you might mess something up, I might mess something up. I've bricked a phone before because I was trying to make it look more like the generation that had just come out. And I deleted a settings file that I shouldn't have, and then bye-bye stock operating system. With Apple, you have a much more limited set of options. But because you don't have so many of the options that you do have with Android, there's less of a possibility for error, and the operating system is a little bit more efficient. Have you ever wondered why iPhones run as fast as they do? Because they just can't do tons of the things that Android phones can do. I wonder if iOS were able to do all the things that Android could, if it would work any better. You think? Comment. Please comment. That'd be awesome to know. It's like, do you want lots of options and flexibility and functionality with the occasional hang-up or glitch? Or do you want a stripped down set of options, more rigidity, but it works smoother? I personally want the former, not the latter. Android's motto is be together, not the same. I love that. It's like, be united, but don't be cookie cutter. One of Apple's strengths, I suppose, is its familiarity, because familiarity is good, unfamiliarity is bad. That's a principle that they go by. And it allows people to upgrade to new generations without having too much of a jarring experience. Oh, they changed this, they changed that. It stayed mostly the same. To some, that may be a good thing. To others, like me, it's a bad thing. It's stagnant. It's boring. It's same old shit. How many, have you ever driven through a neighborhood and you saw all these cookie cutter houses that looked exactly the same one after the other, and you're like, there's no originality here at all. I know I have. Like, I've gone through like a neighborhood and been like, man, everything looks the same. How boring is this? Here's a closing question. Would you rather go to a school where you're required to wear a uniform? Or would you rather go to a school where people were free to dress and express themselves freely? Stay beaming.